Hey, what's up guys? Matthew King here. So today we're going to do a compression check on the Focus to see, first we're going to pull the spark plugs, see if any of them are wet. If any of them are wet, that's a pretty good indication that we have probably a cracked head, depending on if it's wet with oil or if it's wet with coolant. Being that we're losing coolant, I'm guessing if we're going to have any problems in the engine, we should be able to figure it out by looking for, you know, wetness on the spark plugs of coolant itself. So all right, so we just got to get this thing off. Then next we're going to pull all four coils and then the spark plugs, and we're going to do one by one and check each one. So to get all these connectors off, okay, so the little red tab here, you have to pull back all the way, okay, and then you're gonna have to do some wiggling and then it'll come out. So now all of these coils are all disconnected. Now with this coil here being in that location, we're actually gonna have to take out that tube there. So now that the harness is off, that bolt there is a 5/16, and you'll just have to take that out, and then after you pull that bolt out, then you'll be able to pull right up on the coil itself and pull it out. So bolt out and then coil, just kind of twist it back and forth. Now what I like to do, put them somewhere where they're not going to fall down and just line them up in the order that they are over there. So to get that piece that was out, all I did was take a flathead, undo it there. Then there's another one right over there that you have to do, and then you just kind of wiggle it out. This here, you would have to take this off too, but as you can see, mine's already broken. So that just screams we're gonna have to do an aftermarket intake. Well, we're gonna do it anyways, just not right now. Okay, so I got all my coil packs out. I put them right up there, right in order. So number 1, number 2, 3, 4. We're gonna pull out the number 1 spark plug first, which number 1 on this is gonna be closest to the pulley. Then it's gonna go 2, 3, 4. That one being next to the transmission. So you're gonna have to get yourself one of these, which if I get it to focus, which is a 5/8 spark plug socket with an extension. That way you get right into there, and then we can pull that one out. So once you break it free, go ahead and just turn her out. These should all come out relatively easy. Never ever use an impact on these, ever, seriously. And the result of number 1 is, see if I get this to focus. Well, it's not wet. Looks like it's been in there for a while. So I'm also going to replace these with factory new ones. So that's the result of number 1. So we'll find a nice place and we'll put them all in order here too. Now what we're rooting for here, guys, is that none of these spark plugs are going to be wet, because if any of them are wet, then we have an issue of either a cracked head or a bad ring. All right. So number 2, and the result of number 2 is dry, looks worn and used. All right, now we're on number 3. Number 3 is dry, used. So that's good. We're at 75% that, you know, we don't have anything going on inside the engine. All right, so we are on the last one. And the last one, the result is dry. That is a good sign, guys. So that's telling me we don't have any fluid building up in any of these cylinders here. So that is good as shit right there. So that's good, guys. So those 4 spark plugs are not wet. That is a very good sign. But we're still gonna do a compression check on it. And I'm gonna show you guys this pretty cool thing where I'm actually gonna scope all 4 of these here with a scope and just take a look at it. Look how the cylinders are. All right, guys, so I went to my storage and I got my Amos scope here, and we're gonna scope each one of these cylinders just to see what they look like. Okay, so we're gonna scope this. Just see normal deposits. We're just seeing normal deposits. I don't see anything too wrong with it. That's number 1. Alright, so let's scope that. You can see you got the normal deposits on it. I don't see anything really wrong. Nothing wrong with that one either. That might have been hard to see, but yeah, I got this Amos scope here from Harbor Freight. I don't remember how much it was. I've had it for a while. And you just, you know, turn it on, dip it into the hole. Just take a look at your cylinders and everything like that. I've got your normal carbon deposits just like you're supposed to have. So yeah, I'm very confident that this engine is not blown up. I see no signs of fluid or anything like that. Had I would have seen a really clean piston, then I would have said, yeah, we're having issues with coolant getting in there, because remember, coolant's the detergent, so it will clean the crap out of your piston if it was introduced inside there. So with that, as well as the spark plugs, I'm convinced that the engine is not blown, and nor do I have a head gasket issue. But yeah, we're also gonna just check out the compression just to make sure. So I got my compression hose here. We're just gonna start. We're gonna just screw that in. You gotta make sure all of the spark plugs are out. And then we're gonna hook up the compression tester to this. So now that we got number 1 hooked up, remember, there's no other spark plugs, and right now we're at 0. So we're gonna go inside the car and we're gonna do a 5 count. So we're gonna crank it 5 times. 4, 5. So there's 5. Let's go check. We are sitting at just below 120 on that 5 count. So release the pressure. We'll do it one more time. Okay, one more time. 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's go check. This is still on number 1. So we are at 120. All right, so we got number 2 hooked up. Now we're gonna do a 5 count on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't forget to pull your guys' fuel pump fuse. Also, I forgot to mention that to you. All right, number 2, we're sitting at 120. That's good. All right, now we got number 3 hooked up. All right, number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. All right, number 3. Yeah, focus. Is 120. That's good. And now we got the last one hooked up. All right, guys, we got number 4 hooked up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, guys, we are at 120 all across the board. This is a good engine, guys. I am totally convinced now that that white smoke that we've seen earlier is coming from the turbo. Okay, so now that everything's good on this, we are going to install the new spark plugs. Get yourself some anti-seize and just put just a little bit on the threads. That way she won't seize up on you. So I put just a little bit. That way when I start screwing it in, it'll go through all the threads. You want to keep it away from that electrode. So go, you know, a couple threads in, and then just put her in there, and then screw it in. Remember how I told you earlier, do not use an impact on this. So just keep screwing it in until it gets hard, and then we're going to put ratchet on it. Now, you do not need to go hard at all. Finish getting this in there. So literally go just snug. Okay, do not crank on it or else you are going to strip out that head. So like I said, you can either go with SP, if I get this, SP 537s, or I believe the new ones are SP 550s. So yeah, after you put in all 4 of the spark plugs, then you're going to install all of your coil packs right in the order, and make sure you use that 5/16. Torque those down, and do not do those very hard at all, because you don't want a chance busting any of them bolts that secure it. And after that, throw that intake part back on, and then she's all back together. So just like that, guys, I have figured out this is a good engine. It's holding compression. We have no fluid in the engine at all. The spark plugs were nothing were wrong with the spark plugs. We're replacing them with brand new OEMs, the SP 537s, which that's what I had to set up, but they're SP 550s now, which is the same thing. They just got superseded with the part number. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna put this all back together, and I'm gonna start working on sourcing out a turbo for this thing. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something today. And yeah, if you like what I'm doing, please, guys, just hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. If you want to see more on what this thing's going on with my, as I call it, the counterfeit RS, then please, guys, just do me a favor and support the channel. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.